Yeah, it never works. Whenever I switch over the audio itself, it never works. What is going on, everyone? My name is Fiz. I'm joined by here with the entire crew of Cast 5, Rohan, Farhad, Daniel, and Theo.
What's going on, guys?
What is going on indeed? You guys witnessed some greatness recently. How are you all feeling?
I feel like I wasted 5 minutes of my life.
Something that you're never gonna get back, Farhad. You can ask for it. You're never gonna get back. You can ask for it as much as you want. You signed for it the moment you signed that contract, saying that you're gonna be my friend. So
no, I don't mind wasting 5 minutes of my life. It's the fact that I want to delete the 5 minutes of my life.
Oh,
I actually would like to have that option.
It's going to be. It is going to be on YouTube for the archives. For the internet cannons to know for the rest of time that this is what you were doing.
Remember what Five did to us,
right?
For those of you that are wondering, what exactly are they talking about? We have a reaction video that's just going to be dropped with this podcast, and it is us reacting to the single greatest music video of all time by none other than the great artist Tahir Shah. So if you don't know who he is, I didn't either. None of these guys did either, but now we do. He has pretty much cemented a place in the back of my head, and constantly. Yeah, don't look at me with eye to eyes, man. We need to make sure we see each other in eye to eye.
With 2 eyes. Now I feel like I have one.
What did Tian get to do? He has 3 eyes. Did you do this?
His spectrum eye. Remember, he mentioned that too. So there you go. But for those of you joining us for the very first time, we are Cast 5. We review, discuss, talk about entertainment news, video games, and other items. Anime and stream, yes, and react to random videos for your pleasure. And honestly, for mine as well, I'm not going to lie. But today we haven't done a podcast in a while, so I wanted to actually jump in and do a podcast this week because one of us have been playing a new game that just got released by a small indie studio for I think it's called, is it Horizon? Am I saying that right? Is it Horizon, Daniel?
That tinky little game, yeah.
You seem to be the expert on that, but yes, Horizon Forbidden West just dropped on Sony PlayStation 5. And he's the only one that actually has it, that's playing it right now. So we had 2 choices. It was Horizon or Elden Ring. And I stand by my decisions. I went Life is Strange. Neither. I chose Life is Strange and
wasn't even an option.
You went for the remaster of all things.
Exactly. But before we jump into our impressions, I do want to mention one news item that recently happened, and I am very curious to know if any of you guys are willing to give this other game a chance, which is Cyberpunk 2077. Patch 1.5 just got dropped. It does contain the next-gen editions. All of you have an Xbox Series S. I have an Xbox, but I got it for PlayStation. So
same. I got it for PlayStation 5 as well, man.
Oh, okay. All right, excellent. $30.
Well.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
It was on sale. You might as well.
Why not?
$30 for
a brand new PS5 game is going to be $30.
So I'm
they're retailing at $90.
Not very brand new anymore.
Well, yeah, but I wonder how much of the bugs did they really fix?
Right.
So here's the thing. I was looking at some of
I'm hoping it's brand new because the first game was terrible. So by making the game work, I would say that's a brand new game.
Damn.
I would hope.
But before this is even considered a game, you just consider it a mess of coding.
100%.
I saw the videos. I saw the reviews. I wouldn't pay full price for that.
I still have the PS4 version. I just never, ever touched it from all the news I was hearing. I was too lazy to sell it too, so I was just like, maybe it'll fix it one day.
Dude, I was so happy. I was so happy I actually didn't jump in because I was definitely excited to actually do it. I was really ready to do it for my PC, but I decided against it. I was like, you know what? A PS5 version is going to come out eventually, and probably then they're going to have it all fixed. Let's see.
So
Oh,
here's the
we
thing.
also-
I
Takes
have
time.
Those are amazing.
Which versions did get fixed?
all of them.
Just even the PS4 one.
Yes.
Oh,
As much as it possibly could have made a fix. Now, because
Shit, man.
certain things are just not going to work that well on last-gen consoles, right? It's very limiting. But
That's true.
looking at the videos, looking at the impressions, like just generic how AI functions, which is hilarious because I actually have to mention how AI functions in a game like Cyberpunk 2077. But this one video killed me. This guy was shooting the gun in water, and there was no reaction. The water was just still. The bullet just seemed to like hit the water and just disappear. And then they showed that's the PS4 version. And then they showed the PS5 version where you actually see ripples and all that stuff, right? So simple things like that. If you hold up a gun, how is the AI gonna react to it? What happens like if you hold up a gun next to somebody that's in a car, they speed away or they'll try to like run you over, things like that. All that stuff is now in the game, and it was never in the game. Breaking glass, things like that. So it's kind of crazy how much like smaller details they really kind of went to for a game that's supposed to be that big.
It's
crazy that I didn't have that already.
It seems like it was just straight up just unfinished. More so than the fact that, you know what, they've added this new like cool features into the game. It seems like they just now just got to actually finishing it completely.
Yeah.
You know what I
features
mean?
that should have been there are being added.
That's what I'm saying,
Yeah,
right? It's just
I agree.
damn.
If they just
Small things, but it just helps
Sell
the
the
whole
world,
and
yeah.
the experience of the game and the enjoyment of the game. Because when you notice those things out there, it's very glaring.
Yeah.
Oh,
In
100%.
today's day and age, when it's like whatever comparable video games, like even GTA 5 has this stuff, and that's how old now. Like,
That's what I'm saying. Like Red Dead Redemption 2 broke a lot of video games for me when it came down to like open world. Or when you talk about Breath of the Wild, that was like the physics side, right? I didn't play Genshin Impact, so I can't comment on that. But this game that had hype since what 2013, then Keanu
Since the
Reeves,
first trailer, man.
right? So like all that
That's
stuff
some
all of a
E3.
sudden just kind of went down the drain.
Yeah.
And now it's resurged. And I like the fact that they didn't just come out and say, hey, FYI, we're dropping something. They just shadow dropped it. It's there, it's live, you have the game, great. If you don't have the game, it's on sale for $30. That's what happened to me. Because I was like, I am convinced this game's gonna come out on Game Pass. I'm convinced. Because if in case this doesn't make it and they put it on Game Pass, 100%, 6 months to 8 months down the roadmap, people will definitely play it. But I'm sure with $30, people will give it a shot, right? Like, especially if you have an older version and you get the upgraded version for free. So the question I was going to ask before we went on a tangent of how bad this game was, I need to ask Rohan this because I know how huge of a fan this guy was for Cyberpunk because my expectation for this game was as high as Rohan's. And we were like, this would be it. Maybe this is something I try on the PC. I was looking at graphics card 3080 and so forth.
Oh yeah. There was this whole actual thing about you like, you wish you held off on getting your PC because maybe you could have gotten the 3080 and that whole
100%. Exactly.
Yeah.
So now having the game, and I know none of you guys have tried it, I'm sure, but having the game now, what are your expectations? And do you think you will give it a shot in the next 3 months with everything that's coming now and being released? Do you think this is just something in the backlog, or you will actively try to give it a shot to see how you feel?
Off the cuff, it's probably in the backlog right now because, like, I think just so much stuff has happened with it. Right? Like, I would like to say that I'm gonna like play it in the next week or something like that, or like
Are you
in a
hyped
couple of days.
At all?
I'm cautiously optimistic that they've actually fixed and the game's actually finished and it'd be worth playing. I would like my expectation for this version that's come out now is that when I play it, right, I'm gonna be like, you know what, this is actually a good game, rather than like, oh, you know what, man, this still could have been better. They still could have done this sort of thing. Like I just like bare minimum. I just want to actually feel like, oh, this is actually a good game.
So if you had to give it a rating and say like this would justify this game being okay or good or enjoyable in my eyes, what rating would you hope this game gets?
Oh, dude, I would. Considering how much
7,
hype it was,
an 8?
no. I really hope that this is at least like an 8.5 or an 8 or something like that.
Oh wow!
Dude,
Okay.
I want this to be an actual good game, considering all the stuff that's like surrounding the game and like all of its like hiccups and everything else, man.
Marketing was strong with this one, right?
So, like, it was so overhyped for what they delivered. It was so overhyped. It just fell so hard in its face. Like, it has to be good. It has to be. Yeah, Theo.
The prior track record really made you hype for it as well.
Right? And they put it behind the hate.
Witcher 3, you would not think this would happen after how well Witcher 3 was released.
Dude, CD Projekt Red was primed to be like the next god freaking game developer company, bro. They really were. And I'm so surprised because like their adage is that it's finished when it's finished. It's like or something like that, right?
Yeah, that was
their
always
to say, right? It's like it's going to be ready when it's actually like ready or something like that. And they just finished. They just put out this half-baked turd apparently, and people still got it. A ton of people, like a lot of people, still got it, and like a lot of people were seriously disappointed, man. So like. This has to be like an 8 or 8.5, man, too. Like,
can you think of another game that was delisted from PlayStation 4 or the Sony store?
I can't.
Right?
I can't. Nah, man.
So
like they bro.
Farhad, what about you? I know you were not hyped about this game. You got it on a whim because the Amazon sale for $50, and I convinced you to buy this. Now the game's here. You have the version. For PS5, you can also get it for Xbox if you want, or PC in your case as well.
Yeah.
Are you excited at all?
I don't know.
Think about it. That hard shit.
So the thing is like, you know, when you're releasing a game, that's kind of when you have the lightning in the bottle of getting everyone's attention for the game. You can't just be like, if anything, this is what they should have done is actually taken another 2 years off to get this kind of updates out and then release the game, and the hype would have still been there.
Like
but
what
right
Final
now, yeah, exactly. Like Final Fantasy, like they're just now coming out with a graphical update after years of it being out, and you know they kind of found other ways to kind of make up for that, which is like gameplay, story, like you name it. Final Fantasy
patch 1 versus Realm Reborn, right? The game sucked. Yeah. They turned it off. And they didn't say anything, came back. Or you're talking about No Man's Sky. Another one that came out, right?
It came back pretty strong with their updates, yeah.
So it's just hard to kind of come back from after years of it being out, after years of it already kind of getting the spotlight of showing people the amount of glitches and stuff it has. I think it's very hard for me to kind of get back and try that game, but I do think I would try it maybe if I run out of some stuff to play. But that's not going to happen anytime soon.
Your backlog, your backlog is bigger than mine at the moment, especially with Pokemon too. So, Daniel, what about you? Something that you're interested in at all?
Yeah, I was interested. When it was like being revealed and all the trailers and stuff, I thought, wow, this looks pretty cool. The Keanu Reeves in the video game, that's gonna be amazing. But I was like, I'm not gonna like jump on it because like I got other games to play and stuff like that. When it first came out, seeing the reviews, I was like, yeah, not buying it. But now it's out and it's like because it got fixed initially for a bit, and people were saying like the major issues have mostly been resolved, but like
the stability issues,
stuff, yeah. The other stuff is still there, so people were like, it's kind of not worth it still. But now it's out and it's supposedly fixed. We'll see. I think if I see a lot of reviews where people say, "Oh yeah, like a lot of the glitches are fixed, the AI isn't going through walls anymore," and all that kind of stuff, then I'll be like, "Okay, I might try it." But the amount of games that are out right now, probably it's not going to be something I prioritize. I thought about starting it yesterday. I was taking a break from Horizon, and I was like, I wonder, like, just what it looks like. Maybe I'll do like the intro. I'm curious. I was like, nah, I'm just gonna. It's gonna stay in the background, and one evening, maybe have a look. But I think it's definitely gonna be a back burner game for a while. There's just so much stuff out there right now that. And if the reviews come back and they say, "Oh yeah, it's not really," it still has its issues. It's still not completely finished and never really will be. I'd be like, that'd be a rainy day game like a year from now. Like,
Exactly.
if they turn around and say, "Oh yeah, it's good now. It's a decent game," I'd be like, "All right, yeah, maybe in the next couple of weeks I might try it out." But
how long has it been for like it's been like full price? Even with all the glitches and
it
stuff.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. In like I think the first month or so, they dropped it down to $39.99, $40 is what I was seeing it at. Especially when it got delisted, it went down in price.
That's when it went down.
Yeah. I'm waiting on Digital Foundry to release a video where they would show like, okay, so what is the stability looking like now? Because they did it. Every single time they had a major patch, they did 6 months, 1 year, and so forth. So I'm kind of interested to see what it is. Even though I own the game now, like it makes no difference. Theo, is this something that you would even consider?
It was actually kind of hyped at first because you and Rohan were like always talking about it.
We were.
But like Rohan, I have a really deep interest in sci-fi, like Blade Runner, Ghost in the Shell. Maybe
that's exactly what we thought it would be, but open world. Imagine Mass Effect with Cyberpunk, right? Like that's what it was touted to be.
You can put cybernetic enhancements like Metal Gear or whatever. But then get Gundam. I would love that. But then, shit hit the fan and you found out, like, even if it had all those stuff, you couldn't even get to it because of how much glitches and stuff there were. And at this point, everything just kind of fizzled out. I got other games that I'm looking, like, it's a bit late. Other games that were hyped for before that weren't going to be released yet are now released already or going to be very soon. So definitely back burner and seeing if there are still any more existing glitches that they'll get through before I finally get around to it.
100%. Because I'm looking at just the backlog itself, like what I have is like with Angie, I'm going to be playing Life is Strange remastered because she hasn't played the first and second one, first and Before the Storm. But just for myself, we're looking at Elden Ring, we're looking at Horizon, then I have Lost Judgment, Tales of Arise, Deathloop that I haven't played at all yet. So there's those games. But then down the pipeline, you also have God of War.
Oh, shit.
Right?
That's so true.
You also have possibly Breath of the Wild 2 that's supposed to come out this year, late this year.
Right.
So you're looking at those games, and then who even knows what Microsoft might bring on the table, right? Because like now, it's been 2 years since
Skyrim game?
Yeah,
New Elder Scrolls?
Starfield is supposed to come out this year in November, right? So like when you're looking at these kind of games, which are
and for those of us who play Lost Ark, there's also that too.
Lost Ark, yes,
Dude,
Tiny Tina
I'm actually in that right now. What damn?
Yeah,
there's too many. There's too many things. There's too many things that's coming out, man. They lost their opportunity to actually be in the forefront of people's minds. They really did, even with the price drop and all the fixes and stuff like that, man.
They kind of shot themselves in the foot.
Multiple times, man. Because like how many multiple fixes there were, so they still didn't fix it.
In terms of goodwill, I would say yes, they shot themselves in the foot. But in terms of money, I don't know, because now $30 like that. I didn't buy it because of the fact that 1.5 is the next gen version. I bought it because it was $30 and it was next gen, right? Yeah. So like that's a price that like I was full. Like I said, I'm fully convinced it's going to come out on Game Pass, so I could have waited. But I was like, haptic feedback versus no. Like it was all about the controller, man, for PS5. That's the only reason why I jumped on, right? Originally, I looked at Amazon to see if in case I want to buy a physical copy of the Xbox, because I was like, I don't own a physical copy for a game for Xbox, so maybe I'll get this one. And it was
drive to some use.
I'm thinking that it's gonna run smoother on the PS5. Honestly,
it's about that's what I was hoping for too. Like with Digital Foundry's video, right, to see which was the best, most optimized version. But then I ended up going with the haptic feedback because, right? But okay. Duly noted. So there doesn't seem like to be a lot of hype for this game. I hope it's good. I really do.
Yeah, man, I really do too.
I hope it at least scratches the itch of an 8. You know, like you don't have to be a 7. Like if you're a 7, I think with the game as big as it was, it should be at least an 8. But people seem to enjoy it, right? So, but
I'll just say to anyone who's waiting for a review from us about that game, don't hold your breath.
No.
Yeah, we don't got one.
it's gonna be a while. But on that note, Horizon, another small indie game. But joking aside, Horizon Forbidden West, please, Daniel, sell me on it.
How do I explain it without giving away spoilers?
Excellent. Thank you so much for joining in. Be sure to like, comment, share. I'm joking. Go.
It's amazing so far.
How many hours?
I think I've sunk when I did the latest save about 15 hours.
Okay, so halfway through. Okay.
I'm not even halfway through though. That's the problem.
Really?
I get distracted by side quests.
Okay.
Yeah,
So 50 hours, let's say the game is with the slowest player.
15. Sorry, 15.
No, I'm saying 50 hours, let's say, takes to completely go through the story and do side missions and so
what
forth.
I've seen is, like from like looking at different reviews and stuff, people have sunk about 50 hours into just do it. Like when people were doing like reviews on just like the story.
So 1/4.
And I think they sunk in about 50 hours, and they said they didn't do any side things. They just, and that's the thing with this game. They said it's different from the original. Is like you can just play the story, and you don't have to do any of the extra stuff. If you just want to play it for the story and be done with it, that you can go right through it. But there's so much extra stuff in this game compared to the original that it's
the golden path of just going through the story.
Nice.
It's 50 hours. It's 50 hours just to
that's
start.
what I've been seeing, like just online when people were doing like reviews and stuff.
Jesus.
Like I guess a lot of like game reviewers and stuff got access early, so they were like putting up videos and stuff before the 18th. So I was watching a few of those, and yeah, they were saying like when they went through just the story, it was about 50 hours.
All right, so sell us on this game. I'm very intrigued.
It is similar to the first one, but it's definitely a next gen game. You have haptic feedback on the controller. You have adaptive triggers for the bows and all the other weapons, which feels amazing. It's what I've wanted for Last of Us for so long. Now I finally have it.
Just interrupt you for 1 second there. So you said adaptive feedbacks for like all the stuff that you can do with the bow. How much of your upgrades and different arrows and traps and whatever do you get to keep at the beginning?
None. It bummed me a little bit. They do explain it in the story, though.
Okay, so the story reasons behind it.
Is it good reasons?
Is it like Kingdom Hearts?
Yeah.
Oh no, he was sleeping and he is up now. He lost all his abilities. Go find yourself. It's not that, right?
No, it's like you still and like the skill tree and stuff like that. They've expanded it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But some of the stuff that you used to have to earn, you don't have to anymore. So you don't have to learn how to call them out. You already have that. Or grabbing resources when you're riding a mount. That was a whole skill you had to unlock. You don't have to unlock that anymore. It's all standard.
So what about
a lot
hacking?
of like the small things. That's for the original mounts for the animals. You're good, but you still have to go to the cauldrons to do.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
There's only
sense.
like I think so far I've noticed about 2 machines that are the same from the previous game. All the rest are brand new.
Okay, that makes sense. Newer animals, you wouldn't know the code, so you can't really unlock it. Okay.
But it's all explained in the story too. Like you're in a completely area and it's a different world. But I found, the definitely next gen game. Like the graphics are phenomenal. There's been 1 or 2 glitches, but nothing too major. And a lot of it's just like sound issues or like dialogue issues that popped up once or twice, or like one flickering bit of graphics. But the rest of it, the detail, the world itself is a lot more active. especially when you go into like the NPC areas and NPCs as well. Remember in the first game when you did like the cutscenes or like you chatting to someone like an NPC and it would go like camera on this person, camera on that person. It's not like that anymore. They're like both of them are in the same frame or it switches back and forth.
It's more cinematic.
More cinematic and definitely a lot more motion capture this time. It's not just weird face movements, like it's full on motion capture animation, the whole 9 yards, and it looks great.
How's the frame rates? Like, which setting do you have?
Because I've been using it on the performance. Sorry, no, not performance. I've been using it on
fidelity?
You get two, performance or fidelity. So I've been using fidelity. And
so
yeah, it's
solid 30 frames.
Solid 30 frames. Graphics are phenomenal.
I heard that generally speaking, a lot of people, whenever they're playing any of the new next-gen console games, the performance mode is always what they tout, because 60 frames, and you're looking at 2K, right? But for this specific games, this specific game, two other reviewers that I follow, have come out and said, play it on fidelity.
Yeah. That's what I saw too. Like people have tried both, and like the frame rate is great if you do 60, but like, and there's not too much drop in graphics. But if you want like the best picture possible, do the fidelity. So I was like, yeah, might as well. I'm not too excited when shit goes sideways and you're jumping around trying to avoid monster attacks. I'm not really looking at what's the frame rate, how good does everything look right now.
Farhad, you and I it would bug us.
Yeah.
Farhad and I, that would bug us.
Yeah,
It's more
haven't seen
the
anything
smoothness of the
like that,
controls and the reactions. Like,
Yeah.
that you go frame rate.
But yeah, like so far it's great, and the world definitely seems a lot bigger. The story is a lot bigger as well. Like without giving too much away, it's split into
Aloy dies.
It's split into about 3 regions. So your starting region, well, they have for the opening of the game, you have like instanced regions where it's just like one specific area, and like for the first area, it's the game sets place 6 months after the original. So in that first area, you're just exploring like some old ruins, and you get to learn the whole gameplay and controls again. And the second area is a bit more story based, and you're just catching up on everything that's happened. And then you go into the main map. And so far, the main map has been split into. So far, for me, it's been split into 3 areas. It's split into the very western edge of the original map. Then there's an area in between, like No Man's Land, is it called? And then there's the Forbidden West. And right now, I'm 15 hours in. I'm still in No Man's Land. I haven't even got to Forbidden West yet. And the story itself, the whole concept, I was a little worried about it at the very beginning when they were talking about it. But it basically, the whole thing about the AI and reconstructing Earth and the whole lore and the backstory of the game. And then you had to go save the world by destroying Hades and everything else like that. The story started off with almost like cut and paste kind of thing. Like, oh no, there's a world threat again. We gotta go fix it. And I was a little worried because I was like, oh, it's gonna be like Star Wars all over again kind of thing. Like, you know, we're just gonna take the carbon copy of the story of, oh no, things have gone wrong. We're the only one that can save the world. Let's go fix it. Fix the world. Done.
It's that meme from SpongeBob, right? It's like, how many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? How many times?
So I was a little worried by that, but by the time you get like a couple of hours in, the story changes. It basically says, you know, the whole story and everything from the first game, that's small picture now. This is the story. I was losing my shit. That's when I texted you because I was like, everything's changed. I was like, I don't know what's going on anymore.
What am I doing in life anymore? Why are we on this planet?
It took the original game and went, yeah, it's a cool story and everything, but like that's only one small piece of the puzzle. Wow. Now we're gonna go even bigger, and I was blown away.
Okay,
and
so
and the
definitely
cutscenes are very, very, very cinematic for a lot of those like big story moments. So you can actually just sit and watch and enjoy them.
Okay.
But
what
yeah,
about the battle system? How fluid is it?
That's also changed too. Melee has its whole new.
Okay, I have to ask because in the
system?
first game, first game when you used to like use your, not the bow, but
Spear.
you know what I mean?
Spear.
Yeah, spear. When you used to use that to attack people, it really felt janky. Like you're actually not. I want to feel, that impact through the haptic feedback. When I hit someone, my
stabbing
controller,
someone through the chest.
my controller needs to let me know the sins of the man that I have committed. But
melee has changed substantially. Like, you got different different combo attacks now, and like,
is it fast or does it still feel like, I'm not thinking Devil May Cry, like Aloy is just like a demon now slashing everybody. I'm not thinking that, but like, is it like fast enough where it feels natural progression, or is it like a different?
I found like I definitely like in the first area there's like a fighting pit.
Okay.
And it was like all about melee, so I was like, and I watched the reviews and it said melee's completely changed now. You can't just spam buttons and hope for the best. So I was like, okay, definitely gonna go to the fighting pit and learn stuff before I go off to anywhere else. And yeah, like they teach you like, and it's part of the skill tree too. Like you upgrade your attacks and everything else like that, and then you learn again in the melee pit. It's changed completely, like combo attacks, and you can aim for different armor pieces of NPCs, similar to the machines. How you aim for different areas of them. Similar thing with the NPCs. Like they're wearing different pieces of armor, or you can like the bow and arrow. You can focus on one area, or as you're fighting them, armor comes off them and goes flying and things like that.
I remember in the original, fighting NPCs was really basic. It's just you headshot or you don't headshot.
Yeah,
I guess
that's what I used to do in the original game.
I guess now with the new melee combo system, it's like what combo you use will knock off different pieces of armor or something like that.
Because before, like especially with like the scout area, like the rebel bases and stuff, I would just hide outside and then just use the powerful bow and just start sniping them until like lower their numbers enough that I was like, okay, I can take them with melee.
Listen, man, I'm just gonna. Yeah, I was about to say, I'm like, listen, man. There's one Hawkeye here. That's me of the group. How dare you? But yes, with the Dragon Bow, 100%. PvP, putting it down and just waiting for someone to show up. But that sounds great. On
different, and the spear comes into it has more methods. I don't want to spoil it, but it's no longer just constantly hitting with different combos. Like the spear has more abilities now too when it comes to melee. And different attacks.
Do you upgrade the spear and shit?
So through the story it has so far to give me those extra attacks, but nothing yet.
Didn't that also happen on the first game too? That your spear only got upgraded through story?
Yeah,
and the armor was separate. You could go to get the armor pieces and stuff. Okay. So Farhad, hearing all of this, does that do anything for you for Horizon? Your mic.
The first one?
Yes. Like for the second one right now.
Yeah. I'll be honest. I don't know. Like when I first saw the first Horizon, it just didn't seem like my cup of tea. Because I'm more balls to the wall. Like I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna fuck them up.
You're the tank.
But with Horizon, I had to actually be an assassin. There was no other way to actually kill monsters. You had to like go throw a spear, come back, hide.
He's completely right. I've seen him play Assassin's Creed, and he's not an assassin. he's a Viking.
I literally jump in front of him, like, bring it out. So Daniel, is this still kind of like that, or can you just go balls to the wall, like just fuck everything up?
It's a bit of both.
Yeah.
Like I tend to go sneaky when it comes to like the camps and stuff, but when I'm fighting like the machines, I'll go balls to the wall. As long as I stocked up on everything and I got enough health potions and stuff to keep reviving myself because I keep dying. I have to lie. I have died once or twice, but like when you're fighting like the big machines and stuff, as long as I have all the supplies on me, oh yeah, I'll just go right at it.
So I have to know. You mentioned camps multiple times. And I've had an itch to go massacre a camp for a very long time. Like, I think the only other game that filled it was Assassin's Creed, I think, is the last one that I played, right, Brad?
Yeah.
That we had campments and stuff.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Ghost of Tsushima was before.
Okay.
But I played Assassin's Creed afterwards. Other than that, I haven't had anything recently. Like Endwalker, no, it's
To fulfill your bloodlust.
100%. Remember, I mentioned in Uncharted, you do a couple of shots and it's just like, I am now just declaring I'm a mass murderer. Come, let's go. Like you make those choices, right? So encampments, when you mention, when you're going and taking over these spots, are you taking over these spots because...
There's different ones. There's now before it was like the enemy faction and you would like take them over. There's more than
You might give something away.
Okay.
That's why it's hard. It's hard
so
for it to say anything.
that's what I want to know, because like a lot of times it is like you're getting resources, like Assassin's Creed, it was resources, or you're building your rapport and then taking over slowly. Ghost of Tsushima, you're slowly retaking back the islands and, you know, building your legend. Last of Us, you're just trying to survive. So it's less enemies if somebody gets called, right? Here, what seems to be the case? Are you going for resources? Are you going because less enemies?
It's more side missions.
Because you just like killing people.
So side missions.
It's more of the same, similar to the previous game. It's just a different type of enemy. And
do you get skill points? Do you get a piece of armor?
Points.
Okay. There's a reason.
I haven't seen like goodies yet for like armor, weapons, things like that. But I mean, a ton of loot crates to open up and things like that. But I found the side quests are very different from the previous game. The previous game, it was more, they're okay and they're not very compelling though, and it was more of a, we have a problem now. Hey, like,
it was fully uncompelling.
Yeah. With this one, like, I was in the first town and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go, like, they kind of it's like an add-on to the story in a way. That's how I found.
Oh.
It's like you didn't need to do the side quests to continue the main mission, but
you understand the world better.
Yeah.
So it adds to the story, you mean?
Yeah. It fleshes it out.
Hold on. Adds to the story or adds to the world?
Both, actually.
Wow.
That's what I was just saying. And I went back to the first town because I had to go trade some stuff and buy some stuff. And I found, even talking to the major NPCs there, their dialogue had all changed since the first time. Or you talk to them and they'd be like, oh yeah, thanks for doing this.
That's actually kind of cool.
Or like
what?
The town is like, it changed a little bit. So basically, in the first town, they're meant to be doing all this work to help rebuild another area. But the main guy there has decided to stop all work for safety reasons or some crap like that. And everyone's all pissed off.
Safety
no one
reasons.
likes this guy. And it's all like, basically like you're fighting the union kind of thing. It's a weird story.
Degenerate freaking workers.
But like, then Aloy comes in and like you talk
They
to
have
some
a machine convoy
NPCs.
as well.
Oh shit! I just got that.
Oh my god.
Okay, no. We're not going there.
Go past. Continue.
So
you're working in this town and you go through the story and you can just leave. You finish the story aspect of that, what that town means, and you be like, okay, I'm good. Bye. I'm off to the Forbidden West. See you later. But it's like I kind of stuck around, did some of the side missions, and then the side missions continue. Well, for that one anyway, they continued in like the No Man's Land area because there was a bigger arching story to it. So I found like I go do some of the extra side missions. I go back to the town. Things have changed. And then I go carry on with the main story, do some other stuff, come back. His challenge changed even more. The dialogue changed. They're all thanking me for different things. The whole town, like the leaders changed, everything else.
That's kind of neat. So your actions
it's
actually
more interwoven.
Yeah. Oof, Ryan, how you
and
feel?
Like, I felt like the story
That's
was actually
cool,
compelling for the side missions.
Theo, what are you saying?
But I think the only other game that I know that had like world building, like from the NPC dialogue, every time you progress through the story is what's that game called? Trails in the Sky. But yeah, that's really
that is
that's
true.
Cool. That's really rare. Just,
Wow, Theo went all the way back. Okay.
No, it sounds
It's
very
been
impressive,
amazing
man.
so far. Yeah, like for a next like this is what I expected a next gen game to be.
So this feels like a first real next gen game.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh damn.
So Rohan,
Like what was
hearing
like
all of
Spider-Man? Well,
Sorry, go
Miles
ahead.
Morales was the first one for PS5, right? But that felt like a PS4 game, didn't it?
Yeah,
Like the only thing that really changed was like the graphics and the haptic feedback.
yeah.
But generically, it was a very PS4 game. Yeah, this doesn't feel anything like a PS4 game. It's changed a lot.
Yeah, they said they had to slow down the game because they couldn't read the tips on PS5.
Yeah.
So Rohan, hearing all of this, what does that do to you? Does it give you the urge to go back and play Horizon?
No,
Or does it tell?
I got the first Horizon actually off of PlayStation Store. I think it was a sale or something. But like the first one, I was meaning to actually. I got the first Horizon or on Steam, and I never got around to actually playing it. I still feel bad about that one. But the thing was, I realized that I realized that I wanted to actually play on PS5 more. Right, I actually want to play on console more. Right, so and then
Epics?
because I realized that my PC can't actually run properly. It's actually more for sad reason. There's one for
So
sad
it's
reason.
stability and haptics.
Yeah.
Then.
Okay. Yeah. Right. But yeah, I mean, I wanted to have some kind of bundle for like a upgrade, upgraded version of the first game along with Forbidden West, but I don't think that really came out. So like, I decided, you know what, screw it, I'm going to play it anyways. So I just got the first one, and then I'm definitely gonna get Horizon.
Yeah, they did a bundle with the DLC, from what I remember.
Yeah,
they made a complete edition.
Yeah, DLC they did.
They don't sell the original edition anymore.
It's
basically.
always a complete one.
Yeah.
With the Frozen Wilds, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go up there, you meet Elsa and a couple of Olaf and a couple of other characters from Frozen, so it's actually pretty good. It turns out
I heard the song was amazing.
Yeah, it was. We truly had to let
soundtrack. Soundtrack is phenomenal.
Oh, is it?
In the game?
Wow.
It's the same game engine as Death Stranding too.
Oh wow!
So it works really well.
Okay.
And that's the one thing I felt was missing.
It's Decima engine. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Decima. Yeah.
Because I was feeling like I noticed it a lot more. I was like, even just like you're walking around in the world, you're doing some stuff, you're collecting, the music's still going on in the background, and it's nice compared to Death Stranding, where like the music would only come in every now and again, and there's like, oh, you pull up like the MP3 player and you play, but like, and then it would never continue playing if you closed it. I think that's the one thing that's missing from Death Stranding is like you're doing all this walking, but you can't listen to the music, and the soundtrack for that game was great. But I was like, you could only listen to it at certain aspects of the game where they actually put it in for like major game moments. I was like, yeah, while you're taking the long walk back, or like you're walking away from this thing because you just killed this massive thing, and it's like into reflection of, yeah, I'm cool. It's like, yeah, that's when the music plays. But it's like it was silent for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
But you would especially notice it since you platinum this. So you walk back and forth and back and forth and forth.
In complete silence.
I think I ended up just putting I pulled up the soundtrack on Spotify. I just had it playing on my phone while I played the game.
So that's how you actually played it.
That's true. It is
Modern
true.
problems
just
need
quiet
modern solutions.
I'll tell you something
yeah,
funny.
in this game, like the soundtrack is great. Like the soundtrack for the original Horizon, I really liked. But in this one, it's noticeable. Like then it keeps changing every area you do, things like that. So it's nice.
I'll tell you guys when we were discussing the side quests, it reminded me a story that recently happened, because I was gonna ask. I was like, oh, so whose trousers are you gonna go get and all that stuff? Like the joke we usually have for MMORPGs. Like, oh, we're gonna go get pants from this place, go give it back to this guy, and woof, there you go, you get a little bit of EXP. So this happened in real life actually to me. My sister called me and she's like, I left my purse at the mall. At the store, they have it. Can you go get it for me? Because I'm not feeling well. So I was like, sure. So I went to the mall, and it was a fetch quest. I literally went to the mall, and this NPC, which was my sister, gave me this quest. I went across. It was snowing. Grabbed the purse and brought it back, and Angie was with me. So she's like, oh, okay. So she's like, how do you feel? I'm like, I feel like I feel like I don't feel like the warrior light. I feel like I've been degraded down. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, you're the NPC, you're the side character that drives you to the place. If you played any of the Grand Theft Auto,
she's the one with the mount carrying you.
Exactly, and I'm the one going down across the street getting the thing. So it's hilarious.
If you
like,
push back, I'll say.
And she's like, thanks, bro, you're the best. Closes the door. I'm like, what about anything? No food, no water, nothing. All right.
Where's my XP?
But yeah.
No XP, no gold, nothing.
Definitely no gold.
Yo, these fetch quests are like, seeping into our lives. They're ruining my life, guys. But that's great. Horizon. Okay, I'm actually kind of sold. The world interwoven side quests and so forth, that is very interesting.
You mentioned fetch quests.
Yes.
There is kind of fetch quests, but they're separate from. They've split up all the different side missions too, so you don't have to do all of them.
Okay, so kind of like
there are
Assassin's
fetch
Creed.
quests, but it's like you have to go raid these machines for parts to go build some armor, and they have like different areas of the map to go fight these machines, get the pieces you need, bring them back to the builder, and he'll build the armor for you. That's really the fetch quest that I've been doing, but it's not like every mission of every that they're split into different categories, which is nice. So you can avoid the fetch quest altogether if you want.
So it's kind of like Assassin's Creed. It tells you what you're taking, where you're going, and so forth.
Yeah.
I feel like you and I are meeting eye to eye on this, sir.
You're gonna try to bring that up every single opportunity you can, aren't you?
I'm using my Spectrum eye right now to see this.
Fucking guy.
Brad knows it. He loves it. Look at him. He's just like, yeah.
Eye to eye.
No, it's like they're having the right tone. It's like, no, I'm not even gonna do it. No, I'm not gonna freaking encourage this man. No, he's had enough already. He's had enough.
Encourage away, sir. Encourage away. Life sucks. Bring a little bit of laughter in your life. By looking into my eyes. Tell me. For those that don't have any
those who don't know, you're lucky.
Damn lucky, man.
Any prospect of what's going on, yes, there's a reaction video. Please go ahead and check that out. But okay, all right, I'm sold. I think I'm gonna wait until Elden Ring's definitely next. But I think after Elden Ring, I'm definitely gonna jump into this more so than Cyberpunk.
Yep.
Brad, you want to rate some machines with me?
On Horizon?
Oh yeah.
Wait, there's no co-op though.
Oh, they share play. They're share play.
Oh,
They're share play, man. You can test out that feature.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
There you go. All right. Any final thoughts, guys, before we close off for the night?
I think we're good.
None from me.
Maybe next time. We'll see how things goes. But yeah.
All right. I am sold.
I've got some machine skill.
There you go. Are we actually jumping on doing your dungeon on?
Oh yes, we can do Final Fantasy.
I'm very excited. Endwalker,
which you guys also stream, guys. That you also stream. Might want to mention that.
That we do stream on twitch.tv/cast5. But with that said, guys, please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. Let us know if you're playing Horizon, what's your thoughts about it, if you're going to be playing Cyberpunk 2077, or if there's any other game that did not live up to hype at all and you would never want to go back and double check it. I'm very curious to see what you guys think of Cyberpunk 2077. But we are also available on Patreon. We have a whole host of shows available on podcast services around the globe. So we are on Apple, Google, Spotify, you name it. And yeah, that's it from us. So once again, as I always say it, if you have seen this in the past, send you guys nothing but good vibes from your friends at Cast5. Ciao.